Vince McMahon lost the battle of the billionaires to Donald Trump, and then it appears he lost a bit of his mojo once Donald Trump got into the White House, as he no longer wanted to be polarizing and controversial. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Wrestling. And former WWE star Lana, aka CJ Perry, was asked in an interview on TMC's Inside the Ring podcast. She was asked to basically explain the difference between Paul Triple H Levesque's creative process and how it's different from Vince McMahon's. Well, I can tell you how it's different from Vince McMahon's. Vince McMahon was great. Vince McMahon was creative, and Triple H simply is not. Triple H thinks that putting two people in a ring and having them wrestle a match, he thinks that's creative, when in reality, there is nothing creative about that. But Lana opened up about the whole Rusev and Russia gimmick, basically said that it was all McMahon's idea, everything with that was McMahon. Basically, the promos that she did and Rusev did, they were basically word for word written by McMahon. And while people like John Cena could kind of do their own thing, when it came to everybody else, they had to pretty much read off the script that McMahon had written for them. And when you think about it, this just shows how great McMahon was and how great McMahon hopefully still can be, because there is no doubt about it. I don't give a shit. What version of Rusev was better? When did she excel in WWE? You know, when was she at her best? Was it when she was this like Russian mistress of Rusev? Or was it when she tried to have her own shitey wrestling career? When was Rusev at his peak? Was it when he was coming in a tank? When he was doing the anti-American gimmick? Or is it today under Triple H? Or was it when he was teaming up with fucking shitey Aiden English and having the whole Rusev Day, which that was like just the lamest shit ever. I refuse to believe that McMahon wrote that. Oh, today is Rusev Day. And what is Rusev Day? It's literally just taking the guy's name and putting it in front of Day.
That's all it was.
That Rusev Day must have been and see how much people rated that. People pretended that was great. People pretended that Rusev Day, Rusev getting sung out to the ring by Aiden English, people pretended that was better than coming out at WrestleMania in a fucking tank waving the Russian flag.
Makes me sick. To be brutally, Aiden English sitting there with his wee skinny, pale fucking body. Oh, Rusev Day. And then he'd come out and sing, oh, Rusev, oh, my boy. Oh. Nah, man, for fucking losers.
Anyway, this is what Lana says when she was asked to basically compare how Triple H and Vince McMahon are different. She says, quote, I don't know. I'm not there and there now, but I would say Vince wrote a lot more promos. That's the one thing I do know for sure. I think there's a lot of writers there still. There's still like 35 writers, but Vince did micromanage. When I was there for the last 10 years, Vince micromanaged all the promos. So John Cena could change it, Bray Wyatt could do his own thing and he could approve, Paul Heyman. But no, Vince wrote my promos, line for line. Oh yeah, like the Russian stuff, he was absolutely hands-on writing. I think he was using me as his puppet to talk about America, because once Donald Trump became United States President, he sat me and Rusev down and he's like, okay, no more politics. He was like, it's too polarizing and controversial. End of quote. But she literally says that Vince micromanaged their promos. Vince wrote the promos line for line, all the Russian stuff, and hands down, that's when Rusev and Lana were their most relevant. That's when they're at their peak.
And look when these two started doing their own promos. Like, and look at AEW. Rusev had a fucking games console out there.
Yeah, you take away.
You tried to tell me that was Tony Khan.
I don't know, but you take away McMahon and you put in Tony Khan, and instead of coming out in a tank, you've got Rusev coming out playing like Nintendo 64, and it's like, a bit of a difference here, isn't there?
Yeah.
A bit of a drop-off.
But see, it's almost like Lana's coming at this in a way. It's like, well, he was alright talking about politics until Trump got in, because like almost like he didn't want to go against Trump. I think it's the absolute opposite. I feel like McMahon didn't want to do politics with Trump in it, because he knew the majority of the fans left watching were woke little fucking liberal retards,
and remember,
it would have upset them.
Remember the amount of fake news back then, though. Like anything Trump was negative. Not that it's overly positive now. No, but I think it is a bit. I think that you're seeing a bit more positivity. Back then, it was like Trump bad, Trump bad, Trump bad. It's like every article. TDS. But I actually think that's a problem, though, and I think that's one thing that led to the downfall of WWE and McMahon. His greatness beginning to fade, because Lana says in McMahon's own words, he claimed that doing stuff with America and Rusev, Russia. She says that McMahon claimed it was too polarizing and controversial, and that, to me, that's the problem with WWE. And I think even Vince Russo will say that it's like there's nothing controversial anymore. They don't talk about like current trends or everyday topics. Wrestling just feels like it's in its own little bubble now, and it's cut off. When was what did they really do that's controversial?
Nothing.
What did they do that's polarizing?
Absolutely hee-haw.
That's what, and I think that's when wrestling was good, when McMahon wasn't afraid to be controversial.
He went toe-to-toe with these companies. He went toe-to-toe with Look at Muhammad Hassan, man, coming out with like fucking guys in balaclavas and battering the fuck at the Undertaker.
Yeah, and that was controversial.
Of course it was.
But that's when
Americans.
That's when WWE was fucking great, when they were doing controversial shit.
Heidenreich pumping Michael Cole up against a wall.
Like fucking Edge and Lita live sex celebration. That's a Raw that's a segment that always gets remembered.
Look when John Cena announced to kill Bin Laden. That wasn't the PG era. They'd never fucking do that now.
So actually, I think that
the crowd now would boo that.
I think that is a problem. Now, whether McMahon wanted to get away from it just because of Trump, or whether it was because the era that we were in with social media and just the population and life in general, with people just being too sensitive, and it could be that. But no, you look at wrestling, you look at the fans that are left. I guess maybe McMahon didn't want to alienate 85%, 90% of the remaining fans that were left watching this shit. But I do think that's telling, that she claims that he no longer he didn't want to do any American Russia stuff because it was polarizing and controversial. But for me, that's part of the reason why wrestling was great, because it was controversial. It was polarised. You look at The Rock, man, talking about pie and all this stuff with the women and all this stuff, and it is strudel, and that was you could get that nowadays. What wrestler can do that with a female backstage interviewer now? None. See if LA Knight spoke with what's that woman that does the Raw interviewing?
Kathy Kelly?
Nah, the other one.
I have no idea.
Anyway, it doesn't really matter. See if LA Knight suggested something about, Kathy Kelly, do you want some LA Knight strudel? Sexual harassment.
Yep. Be closed. Be good night for LA.
Yeah, LA would be restricted, there'd be a quarantine on the city of LA. Some people would argue that'd be a good thing, to be fair.
That's plenty.
But, it's just you can't even fucking drink beer. Austin can't even come out and have a beer now.
I know, it's pathetic.
What the fuck is going on?
Cody Rhodes can sip away at fucking apple juice pretending it's tequila, though.
But I'm just thinking that, I think that Russia thing was great. The feud he had with Cena was great. Cena coming out defending America. And it wasn't just Cena. I remember correctly, Rusev went through a bunch of Americans.
He did.
Went through Titus O'Neil. I know Sheamus isn't. I'm pretty sure he went through Sheamus as well, even though he's Irish, but he had a kind of gimmick back there. I'm pretty sure Rusev also... I think Rusev had a match with Sergeant Slaughter. Now, I could be wrong. Maybe he didn't.
Well, 2013.
But I think he did, aye.
Didn't know Sergeant Slaughter was wrestling that late.
No, but you get the point is, and I'm pretty sure he had a match with, Jack Swagger. He had, Rusev running through all these American guys, and then he got to the, the real American. Not Hulk Hogan, but Hulk Hogan would have stopped him too, brother. I'd have dropped the leg on him, brother. That works for me, brother. But the McMahon, and WWE's never going to be controversial under Triple H. We all know that. But to me, that was a downfall of WWE. See when McMahon wanted to get away from being controversial and just playing it safe.
Look at the reaction on Unreal when Tiffany and Charlotte went off script. Triple H dropped Wanda's pants. So, could you imagine if one of them went off script and mentioned a real world issue?
Look at McMahon when fucking Edge and Lita had an affair. He fucking put Matt and Edge in a program together.
I know.
You know, that's some good shit. And Edge versus Matt was like one of the biggest talking points of 2005.
Yep.
That was like fucking Matt Hardy. I rate him. I like Matt Hardy. Great guy, great wrestler, legend in my eyes. But 2005 was probably the most he was over. The fucking crowd were desperate for Matt Hardy. He was like the most over guy on the roster. People wanted to legitimately see him kick fucking Edge's arse. So, aye.
Brilliant. But yeah, McMahon. Just shows you everyone's prone to jobbing it.
No, but I just think that's mental that, you know, McMahon, she claims McMahon line for line wrote all the Russia stuff. Now maybe she's trying to throw McMahon under the bus. Maybe she thinks, oh, that's somehow burying him. But for me, it's the opposite. Because that's the best thing that Rusev had in his career. That's the best thing that Lana had in her career. And it was literally all down to McMahon. The direction was from McMahon. The tank, the entrances were from McMahon. The direction was from McMahon. Word for word.
Best period of Rusev's career and hers, so I don't know why the fuck they try and belittle it.
Well, I don't know if they are belittling it, but if they are, if they're attempting to, can she honestly sit? Is Rusev honestly going to turn around and say that his AEW run, his Miro was better, or his current run right now, where he has to face Sheamus every 3 weeks?
It's Sheamus, League of Nations.
You know, fucking bullshit. Anyway, guys, McMahon was the man. I hope he comes back one day, but it's probably not going to happen.
Nope. Goodbye.